Hello and welcome to Dunphy's Last Word on Football, exclusively on 3.
First of all, I'm glad that people are beginning to look at the quality of commentary and analysis on soccer, because it's good, it's healthy. I think people know that BBC stuff is bland. I think they know that Shearer and Hansen and Lineker are really there going through the motions and not really. They never offer good critical analysis. They never go against the conventional wisdom. They never go against big figures in the game like Mourinho, like Wenger, like Ferguson. And basically, they're in a club and they're not going to break ranks. Now, on the question of, say, Steven Gerrard Gerrard's had a very poor season by the standards that these hype merchants have set for him, i.e., in Hansen's case, the greatest player ever to play for Liverpool. He's had a poor season, he's had a lot of poor matches. A bit like the Ronaldo case. Again, a player who does spectacular things occasionally, but doesn't make a constant and telling contribution to every match. And Shearer saying how many medals, but I don't think it's right to personalise it. I think the thing that Shearer would have to say to Sir Alex Ferguson, Mourinho, Arsene Wenger and Benitez is, show us your medals, lads. And in all of those cases, there wouldn't be any medals. In fact, I don't think Wenger even played. And Mourinho certainly didn't play. He played in the Portuguese 5th Division, you know. So that sort of argument is facile. And the question that I'd ask of Alan Shearer is, tell me what you really think about Steven Gerrard. Tell me what you really think the problem is with the English team. Should they play Gerrard? Should they play Lampard? Why is it that doesn't work? Now, there is an answer. Should play Lampard and drop Gerrard. Tell us what you really think about the game. If you're getting paid all that money and you want to be a big man on the BBC, well, have you got an opinion about anything? Or do you just want to have a laugh? You have to give Ronaldo credit for a performance, first half performance on Saturday. He was scintillating. He made the first 3 goals, and you can't take that away from him. And the second goal in particular, where he went the length of the pitch from one box to the other, into passing with Wayne Rooney, and Rooney finished it brilliantly, was a spectacular goal. But it's Bolton. They've been on a bad run, but the way they set their team out on Saturday, they had all their best players playing. Kevin Davis was back, Kevin Nolan was in there, Gary Speed in midfield is a good pro. And they were bang, 10 minutes, they were 2-0 down, and the heads dropped, and it was over. Now, it's a long time, even he was the difference at Fulham, where in 88th minute, gets on the ball, goes to the length of the pitch, and scores a great goal. And are we saying that doing it against Bolton and Fulham and Wigan and Aston Villa, the teams that he scored the goals against this year, are we saying that's where the bar is set for greatness? And I'm saying it isn't. Let's see, it'll be proved. All these questions will be answered in the next few weeks. In the really big matches, the game at Stamford Bridge against Chelsea, the 2 legs against Roma, these are the matches in which we'll see whether Ronaldo lives up to the hype. Ronaldo wants a huge contract from United now to put him on. He'd be actually on more money than Wayne Rooney. This is crazy stuff. It's going on. Yeah, he did it against Bolton, but we'll see who's right. And I'm very confident that he's not the player that they're making him out to be. I know he's not the player that they're making him out to be. What is true about Ronaldo is that he has amazing talent, i.e. he's quick, he's pacey, he can score goals, he's good in the air. He's got a lot of things in the package. What he doesn't have is important, though. He doesn't have a football brain, he doesn't have a good temperament, and he doesn't have the character to graft it out and really make an impact in very big matches against the best players in the world. And that's the only place you prove you're a great player. You don't prove you're a great player against Bolton Wanderers. When the rugby team played there, and especially when England came to play there, we crossed a certain threshold, psychologically, if you like, or as a country. But still, a soccer match in Croke Park has another resonance, a sort of different resonance. It is Wales. I think it will be a big occasion, but I also think it will present difficulties for the footballers. The soccer pitch will be smaller than the rugby pitch and much smaller than the Gaelic pitch, and I think it's going to look very strange, and I think it will play strange for the players, because you can get disorientated as a player if the pitch is tightened in, if the real touchline is 20 or 30 yards wider than the actual touchline within the parameters you're playing, and the same at either end. I think it's going to be extremely difficult for the soccer players to adjust. I'm not sure how the pitch will be. It didn't look great, and there are said to be troubles with the Croke Park pitch anyway, and it wouldn't be great for soccer. So that's another problem they're going to have to face. The occasion may get to them. I think it got to the rugby players because they lost the game there, their first match there against France. So I think, quite apart from the performances and the baggage that Sunderland carries into their match, there are particular problems associated with playing in Croke Park next Saturday against Wales. The Ireland squad that Staunton's picked is again full of inconsistencies and crazy decisions. I mean, he picked a lad who went from Chesterfield, Caleb Forlan. He's gone from Chesterfield to Wigan. He hasn't seen him play for Wigan. He drops out. First of all, he should have picked David Connolly. Connolly's got international experience. He's having a really good season for Sunderland. He's scoring goals. He's got experience, and for this match you need experience. Then Forlan drops out, and he picks a young lad from Wolves who's no experience at all. It just doesn't make sense. And he said that he wants to pick players who are playing in the Premiership. But one of the players who was playing in the Premiership, and he wouldn't pick him, was Lee Carsley before the Cyprus match. And he was picking lesser players instead of Carsley. So there's inconsistencies. You don't know if he's seen the players. A lot of the talk is just unconvincing. And I think there's no doubt that David Connolly should be there and probably starting. I think we'll struggle. It depends on what team Wales come with. If they come with Ryan Giggs and Craig Bellamy, for example, there's no certainty Giggs will come. If they come with Giggs and Craig Bellamy and their best team, they've 2 or 3 players missing anyway. Kumas is missing, he's suspended. But and Robert Earnshaw is missing, he's a good player, good front player. If they come with their best side, I think they'll make life very difficult for us. I think it's a very, very hard game when you take all the circumstances into account. They'll know the Irish players will know them. I think it'll be tight, it'll be tough, and I wouldn't be optimistic that Ireland would get a result. Not at all. I think Keane is looking at his players. He's got about 11 or 12 Irish players at Sunderland, and I think he's wondering, and has said publicly, why are these players not in the squad? Liam Miller, for example. I think he's sticking up for his own players. I think he's publicly supporting his own players. He's been critical of Staunton. I think that's fair enough. A lot of managers wouldn't want their players to be going to international football. So if I was Roy Keane, I'd perhaps say, good. It's better for our promotion push that David Connolly and Liam Miller are staying at Sunderland for the next 10 days, rather than being with the Irish squad. The anti-Cork thing, Cork, I love Cork people, and Roy's a very Cork person. He's never forgotten his roots. I don't think there's any anti-Cork bias in the team selection. It's not where I'd start looking, but there's a lot of other things that aren't. It doesn't look coherent. It doesn't look credible. It doesn't look well thought out. The way Staunton has picked his squads right from day one, and this doesn't look any better. I think that Keane is one of those people in the game that gives straight answers to questions. He's got a great sense of humour, and irony, and there's a real person there, and that's what makes him stand out. It makes him an interesting interviewee, and actually his high intelligence will make him, I think, a great coach. Proof of the week this week, I think Carlos Queiroz, for saying, as he did on Saturday, that Ronaldo is a better player than Zinedine Zidane. Now, show me Ronaldo's medals is all I can say to that.